Wow, how does he do that? Well, you could do that as well, and you don't need any fancy equipment or special editing software. You can make videos like this using just your phone. Keep watching this video to find out how to learn the techniques where you can be ultra creative using the device in your pocket right now. Hello, Peter Baker here, and this is a follow-up video for you. If you've taken my video-based training course all about green screen video technology, how to set up a green screen studio at home for social media or for your corporate work or whatever, if you haven't seen it yet, it's on voiceovermasterclass.com, and just scroll down and look for this particular course on green screen. You know, it's so flexible. Not only is green screen good for at home, where you can turn a very small space, as long as you're surrounded by green, you can key the rest of it out and then basically look like you're in a new studio or anywhere you like. But I had to use it outside a few weeks ago because I was asked to make some training videos for Blue Light Aware. It's training videos for road safety, for drivers on the road to know what to do when there's an emergency vehicle behind them. Now, I had to use young actors who couldn't actually drive. So what I had to do was, in a parked car, put green screen card on the windows and basically made it look like they were driving a car while looking in the mirror, just holding the wheel. So it's amazing what green screen can do. And even out the back window as well, you know, that fire engine or whatever was not there. It's so great fun to use. So please use it creatively. Stick it on your wall, make a portal from another universe appear or whatever. The reason we use green, of course, is because it's furthest away from skin color. Not many people wear green clothes these days. And the reason that you've heard of maybe blue screen, that was back in the film days of the 70s and earlier than that. But no, green is the way to go, although you can key on other colors. So check out that course. Now, the other update I have for you, if you have taken my advice on setting up a green screen studio, I've actually turned my camera in my in-studio 90 degrees because it makes more use of pixels. Now, more people are asking for portrait videos these days, for Reels, for Instagram or whatever. It makes better use of the pixels. What do I mean by that? Well, if it's just me talking to camera, all those pixels to the right and the left of me are completely wasted. So if you turn the camera 90 degrees, then you're going to get more of me in shot, and that means the resolution will be better, especially when you want to zoom in. So you can get a 90-degree bracket from Amazon or whatever, and just stick that on your camera. Turn whatever camera you have 90 degrees. I happen to have one of these type. You've probably got a DSLR. But turn it 90 degrees and you'll make maximum use of your pixels. But of course, even if you haven't got a fancy Sony XD cam or a DSLR, you can still be very creative just using your phone. Look at these green screen transitions using nothing more than a standard phone camera, using the remarkable techniques taught by the team at Real Life Mastery, who've taken video by phone to a completely new creative level. Now, if you'd like to see more shots like this and learn how to film and edit on your phone using these new techniques and create amazing shots like this, just check out the video link made by Real Life Mastery around this video to find out more. Now, the other reason for this video is because back in the 90s, I was in charge of a TV channel called Granada Men and Motors. Now, satellite channels back in the 90s were coming on basically because of technology and thanks to Sony and their DV tape technology. I was in Amsterdam a few weeks ago. If you go to their film museum on the North Bank, go downstairs in the basement, and you'll find in a glass case a VX1000 Sony camera. I had one of them. We all did, because DV technology was really exciting. It meant that this prosumer technology meant that TV channels could happen for very little cost. And so we were all given these little DV tape cameras, and it was broadcast quality, obviously not high definition in those days, but it was good enough to be broadcast. So not only did we save money on using DV technology, but we also were asked to save money by doing things ourselves. So quite often you had people sent out on their own to make their own films just on your own with a camera. Maybe you had one extra person to help, but it wasn't like a full crew of people like you would have in traditional TV days. So as a nod to that, I wanted to see if I could still do that now. So I went out and did a film on my own car, and I just used my own cameras and did it all myself to see if it was possible. And maybe you're inspired to do that as well. Maybe you'd like to make films and you don't like working with other people, or they never do it quite the way you want to do it, or they don't know anything about filming. So the more you can do yourself, you save money and you get it exactly the way you want. Now, for this film, and I'll show you it at the end of this particular video, I used in the car 3 cameras. The main one was my main trusty PXR, whatever, 70 or 90. And I put this on the dashboard. I use one of these things you use for long journeys, a little collar thing. And that helps to put the camera in there, keeps it safe and snug, lash it down with lots of gaffer tape to keep it completely safe. Radio mic in the side of that, radio mic on me. Then on the windscreen, use one of these mounts. These mounts are really excellent. You get these from Amazon and they're very tough. You sucker them on there, you push them in, and basically it could hold a 2-kilogram camera if you really wanted to. I've only got my little camera here, my little X3000 Sony camera. You may have a GoPro, they're all very good. This is a 4K one, and I used an HD one on the dashboard, basically, on the control panel, that had a little bit of Velcro on it to look there. So once you've got all the 3 cameras up running, the main one, the one looking through the window as where you're going, and the one looking at the speed and all the controls and things like that, then you put them all into record. You find out what picture that's showing, by the way, on an app on your phone. Yeah, you must know that. So basically, you've got them all set up, put them into record, then do a clap, a big clap. You can use a clapperboard if you wanted to show off, but just a clap is fine. So that means that in edit, you'll see that spike on your audio timeline. Just line them up all together, and then you'll have them in sync, and then the editing fun can continue. So the mount are also used on the outside of the car as well. Only on closed private roads, of course, you can't do this on the outside of a wheel arch or on your bonnet because it's illegal. So those shots were done then. But have a look at the film now and work out how I did it. No one else was involved in this whatsoever. So for the shots where I'm talking the camera like I am now, basically you put the camera on the tripod and you turn the screen around. That's the advantage of using these kinds of cameras, traditional video cameras, over DSLRs. Because unless you have an extension monitor, you've no idea how it's looking, so you need a friend. But with this, you just flip it out and basically the screen can turn round and you can see exactly what you're looking at and frame yourself up properly. So I hope you found all that useful. Here's that film coming up now, and if you'd like to learn more about filmmaking, check out voiceovermasterclass.com, and there you'll find details on loads of videos and training courses on everything from voiceover to green screen technology, to filming techniques, to presentation techniques, and also about how to edit using Premiere Pro and other software. So here's that film now. See if you can work out how I did every shot. Hello, I'm Peter Baker. Now, if you'd come up to me in the 1990s when I was editor of a TV channel called Granada Men and Motors and said that one day I would own and have paid for with my own money a Honda, I would have laughed in your face. You see, back in those days, as motoring journalists, we could borrow any car we wanted from the manufacturers to make films about them. And it was generally thought that German was best. German luxury had to be better than all the other cars. And this was the thought amongst myself, my production team, and my presenters. Richard Hammond loved his Porsches, Jenny Buckley was into her Audis and Volkswagens, and I personally owned a string of German cars, Mercedes-Benz, Audis, but about 6 months ago, I was in a Honda dealership. I was just picking up a friend and a bit bored, and my dad said years ago, what you should do to check the quality of a car is to close the door and listen for quality. Oh yes, a lovely, solid funk. And looking inside, well, the quality of materials is really excellent. The switchgear is really solid. Honda really have upped their game. This is a Mark IV Jazz. But what I really love about it is just the minimalist look of the dashboard. Just look at that. But this looks like some thought has gone into it. And also it's got some rotary switches. Oh yes, we love rotary switches. Very Audi-like, and for the things that you actually need. Now, you don't need a button and switch for everything. A lot of things can go on your infotainment screen. But if you put everything on your infotainment screen, the things that you need when you're driving, particularly on your own, is changing the heating, the aircon. You need instant access to that, not muck about in lots of menus on your screen system. I'm talking to you, Mr. Volvo XC40. So here we've got the controls underneath. They're easy to find and you can feel them and not muck about on the screen. The other great design feature I love is that the cup holders are not just down there where they are traditionally in every car, but they're right on the edge here, so you can grab your drink while still keeping your eyes on the road, which is fantastic. And the other thing is they're right by the vents. So in the summertime, the air conditioning keeps your can of drink cold, and in the wintertime, it keeps your coffee or tea hot. Isn't that a great idea? Now, I've had the Jazz about 6 months now, and you would have thought the honeymoon period would have worn off. But it hasn't, and my wife and I fight as to who's going to drive it when we go out together. And it's not because it's an exciting drive, it's not a thrilling drive in any way whatsoever. It's just satisfying. It's sort of man or woman and machine in perfect harmony. You know, the steering is really precise. Going around corners, you feel very, very confident. It has Honda's agile handling system, which basically just lightly brakes the inside wheel when you're going around a curve. And that gives you extra stability. It's really excellent. Now, this is a full hybrid, or a self-charging hybrid, as Honda like to call it. Basically, you put petrol in, and that's it for 500 miles. Yep, 500 miles, 61 miles per gallon. It's fantastic. And what the petrol engine does, most of the time, it charges the battery that runs the electric motor. So it means that when you're around town, you are on electric all the time. So it's really, really incredibly quiet and environmentally wonderful as well, because there's no emissions, just in the areas where it's built up, where you would be at a slow speed anyway. Now, when you're at a faster speed, it's actually more efficient for the petrol engine to kick in, and then the petrol engine drives the wheels, and that's more efficient. So it's fantastic, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't control it in any way. It just works it out for you. It's completely automatic. And if you're one of these drivers who thinks, oh, don't they make a manual version? I like changing gears to be in control of my car. No, you don't. You really don't. Not when you get to my age anyway. But of course, this isn't a humble Honda Jazz. This is, well, can't you tell yet? Yep, it's an inch higher than the Jazz. It's a Crossstar. The idea is that the ride height is, yes, a whole 30 millimeters higher than the normal Jazz. They've got all the black cladding on. It's got roof rails as well to give it height. And thus it's meant to be a sort of cross SUV kind of deal. Well, I don't know about that. I'd like it to be a little bit higher personally, but it was never designed to be that high. And of course there is the Honda HR-V, high riding vehicle, where you are higher up, and in fact I was very tempted to buy an HR-V, but the latest version of it, even though it's got all the features that the Jazz has and extra ones as well, is just too wide for me personally. It's about 6 inches wider than the Jazz. I mean, maybe in Japan, Honda, you've got lovely car parking spaces, but no way I'd get in a car park and open the doors round here. But the best extra feature of having the Crossstar version of the Honda Jazz is that you get a top-of-the-range hi-fi system, speakers all around you, and a subwoofer in the boot as well. It doesn't take up any space in the boot, but it really improves the quality. The hi-fi system is really good. Yes, enjoying the sound system that the Crossstar has is another reason to enjoy the refined and quiet cabin here in this Honda. I still can't believe I'm in a Honda, which shows how sort of biased I was towards like marked names before. You do hear the engine when you first start it up, but that's because the petrol engine is doing its best to make sure that the main battery that runs the electric motor is fully charged up. After that, after about a minute, it really quiets down. You have no idea when the petrol engine is coming on again. You really don't, because you're tootling along. It does it for you. It works out whether it's on electric or whether it's on petrol. Mostly around town, as I say, it's all on electric. You just don't have to worry about it. And also, when you're accelerating in electric, it doesn't make a sound like a London tube train accelerating, or when you're in reverse, it doesn't sound like a 1950s sci-fi flying saucer sound effect. I'm looking at you, Mr. Tesla. No, it's just quiet, 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 and I love it. While I'm at it, here are 10 more things I love about the Honda Jazz Crossstar. The rear view camera is sharp and very wide angle. It's got a very tight turning circle, almost like a London black cab governor. Really supportive seats, great for long journeys, and they're waterproof. The magic seats at the back go flat for a big luggage load, or flip up so you can get things like a bike in there. At night you have automatic high beam. Safer for you, and it doesn't blind oncoming vehicles. The heated seats are really effective. The seat and the back are heated well. Driver's visibility is astonishing thanks to the massive raked windscreen and the quarter lights, which are far bigger than the Mark III. I love the brake hold feature, so you don't need to keep your foot on the brake at lights. And over 60 miles to the gallon saves cash, as well as approximately 5,000 to 10,000 saved by not buying an equivalent so-called premium brand car in the first place. But let me tell you what I'm not happy about. Well, more upset about, to be honest. Because Honda, you've made such a great car here, but the handbook, well, and the PDF version as well, have such small little black and white pictures, it's difficult to see exactly what buttons to push for what. And two of the best features for this car for long motorway driving, it's difficult to know what to do, and it took me a while to sort it out, and I'm sure the people out there who'd love to do it, but don't know what button to push. So, to the motorway, and let's explain. Now, most high-end cars these days have got these two features, and they really are a boon for long motorway journeys. The Honda one works really, really well, and is all thanks to a sensitive camera up there on the windscreen, and also the clever electronics and the computer algorithms that work it all out for you. First of all, you need to push this button here. Up comes the green logo that says that lane keep assist is on, and suddenly the steering wheel goes stiff. Basically, it's hard to move from left to right. You're still in control of the car, and it may seem a bit weird at first, but don't worry about it. It's almost like being on rails. If you do want to change lanes, and I want to go in my left lane because it's safe to do so, you indicate, and just by indicating, it lets the steering wheel go floppy again and you can steer. And then as soon as you're in the next lane, it goes stiff again and lane keep assist is active again. It's brilliant, isn't it? So on safety-wise, it means that you have to indicate, which you should do anyway when you're changing lanes, and it reduces the micro steering you have to do on a long journey to keep in the lane. And the car will sort of steer itself. I'm going around the corner now, I'm holding the steering wheel, I'm honestly not turning it. The car is doing that. It's not autonomous, it's not semi-autonomous, you are still in control, you should be in control, you should be in the state of relaxed concentration all the time, but you are being kept in that lane by Honda's system here, thanks to that camera, the radar system, and the computer doing stuff for you. But the human brain has to come first, and someone may cut in front of you, you may have to change lanes, so please always concentrate. Now, the thing with motorways is that cruise control have made things so much easier over the years. But the problem with traditional cruise control is that once you've set it up, it just needs the traffic in front to slow down a bit, and you have to brake and, of course, set it up again. But this has got adaptive cruise control, which many new cars have got these days. The Honda one seems to work extremely well. Let me show you how it works if you're not familiar with adaptive cruise control. So I'm going at about 56, 57 miles an hour. I push the set button here, and there we are, it's set. Here it says 57 miles an hour. If I wanted to go a bit more and trim it, you can push the plus button here to go, say, up to 60, or the minus to go down a mile an hour at a time. But it's not going up to 60, it's going at 51 at the moment, and that's because of that car in front of me. The camera and the radar system works out that I am at a safe distance from the car in front, and that's determined by this little control here, and I strongly suggest you have it on the maximum distance to be safe. I'm indicating the steering wheel goes floppy, I go into the other lane, and automatically, without my feet on the pedals, the car is now going up to 60 miles an hour. Now look, this white van is coming into my lane. The camera picks it up, and suddenly you'll see the speed start to drop. Now obviously I could do this manually as well, but on a very long motorway journey, this takes the stress off you. You're still monitoring what it does. You are still in control. You are still the responsible driver. Now this same system is incredibly useful in slow-moving traffic as well. Here I am moving along very slowly before some lights, and it could be also slow-moving traffic on the motorway as well. But with the slow follow system, which basically still uses that camera there, and the radar system and the clever computer working out, you still press the same button down here, and it automatically goes, if you're less than 18, to 18 miles an hour. Now, I don't want to go at 18, but because the camera can see a car in front of me there, it's keeping me at this distance, and I'm going, what, 7 miles an hour at the moment? My feet are not on the pedals. Although they are ready to go on the pedals, of course, as all good drivers should be, but it's doing the work for you. And look, this car is coming to a halt in front of me now, and so the car is slowing itself. My feet are still not on the pedals, and it stops automatically. The car has stopped me on its own. And then after about 7 seconds, it says stopped on there, which means you've got to blip the accelerator again. But at least you haven't bumped that car in front because of a lapse of concentration for a split second. Now, of course, no system is fail-safe, and of course neither are humans, but the camera won't work when it's very heavy rain, when it's foggy, or when basically the windscreen is dirty. So make sure you keep that camera clean on the front of your windscreen at all times. So I hope you found this interesting, and if you're in the market to look for a new car at the moment, just have a think. Are you just paying extra money just for the brand, the luxury brand? Just have a look at other manufacturers, because everybody seems to be upping their game at the moment. And particularly with Honda, I'm extremely happy with my Honda car, and I heartily recommend you to try it out. And try my dad's old car door test. And another advantage of owning a Honda, I only found out when picking up the keyless entry fobs from the person handing over the car at the Honda main dealer in Bolton. And I said to him, oh, surely I need to get some Faraday pouches for these so no one steals my car. He says, oh, you don't have to worry about that. No one steals Hondas. True story. That's fine. Good by me.